What's up, guys? We're gonna bro beats. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys a trick you can use to make some really nice melodies. If you guys haven't subbed already or turned post noise on, make sure you do so because it does help it a lot. Let's hop right into it. So I'm just grabbing the scale real quick and we just go ahead and get started, but I'm not gonna use the scale to make the melody. So I'm gonna just go with my default F sharp minor. Okay. Now I'm gonna actually make the bass here, but I'm gonna make everything, well, let's just do it like this. So let's just go ahead and get started with our bass line. All right, so before we start the actual bass line, I'm gonna just show you the sounds real quick. All right, just so y'all can see the presets. Okay, and then we got labs, of course, and this little extra. So I'll play them. If you notice, a lot of these sounds are similar, right? And it's gonna help kind of make everything come together. So let's go in here. And I'm gonna use blue for the bass just so we can color code things. So we are in F sharp, but I'm not gonna use the scale. So since we're gonna use an F sharp minor, you already know the first chord is a F sharp minor, right? So what we need to do, and I probably should use labs for this actually, right? We can make a minor chord. So we skip 2 notes, right? 2 spaces, place, okay? And then 3 spaces at the top, and now we have a F sharp minor. And we know it's a F sharp minor because the lower half is smaller. So if you want to make this a major, you just move this middle note up 1. All right, so we're gonna delete this. Well, actually, let's not delete that. Let's do this. Let's take this, pull this down, because we're just creating our bass line, right? And this is our range now. So let's move this halfway over. Actually, let's keep this right here and let's shorten this up. Let's make a short melody. And then what we could do is copy this, and then you could literally just use one of these notes. Now, if you don't know what's in the scale, you just need to figure out how to make a minor scale from scratch. But pretty much it's a pattern like this. That's all it is, okay? But you can go here, you can look, okay, the E and the D. So you could try those. All right, you could just repeat that. So that's how we can create our bass line. Now I really want to go through this part a little bit slower because this is the most important part, whether you know it or not. All right, so let's go ahead and actually, I'm gonna show you this little trick you can use with these little notes here. All right, so now I'm gonna be showing you guys this little chord trick here, and it's very simple. So all we're gonna do is make a dyad. A dyad is just pretty much 2 notes, all right? And then a triad is your like normal chord, right? But a dyad would be like this or like this. All right, so you need to know what notes come next. Now, you know the F sharp minor, right? You already know the second note there, right? You kind of need to know what chord is applied to these notes, right? So you can just take this E, and I want to use the scale, but I also want to practice making melodies without the scale because you may not have a scale in your DAW if you use a different DAW, right? So you could take the E and just skip every other note within the scale, right? So these white notes. So G sharp would be the note we need. And I'm just trying to show y'all how y'all could do this yourself. And then you could just keep doing that, or you just copy this E. Right, and then you could do this one, so F sharp. Okay, and then let me change the color. We could do yellow. And then all you need to do now is highlight these and pull them up. Right, and just with really 4 notes, okay, well 8 notes technically, we've created a little melody here, right? And it kind of sounds like it's chords a little bit. So now what we need to do is kind of fill in the spaces, but this is already written for us because all this is still a part of a chord. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to figure that out in the next part. All right, so now we're gonna begin to actually make a melody with this. All right, but the cool thing about this is already written for you, right? So no matter what bass line you started with, you can always get a good melody every single time, as long as you follow these little steps. So So how do we find this next note we need, right? Well, it's the last note in our chord, because remember, this is just the second note in our chord. So we need that third note now, right? So if you're struggling, right, I'm gonna just pull this over so you can see. I'm gonna just copy this over here, right? So if we create these chords here, C sharp would be our third note for this chord. And then the B, we could delete those. And then over here, and I'm just doing this because so you can visually see what I'm seeing, right? If you don't know too much about like scales. So these are the third notes in our chord. So we can copy these. I hope it lets me copy it over. I'm gonna delete this although. Let's go back here, right? I'm gonna make these purple. And then let's shorten these up. I'm gonna Shift D, make them smaller. And what we're gonna do is offset these, okay? And then we can offset them one more time, just like this, and pull them up an octave, all right? And you can kind of move some of these over too if you want. I'm gonna see if I can create like a decent little rhythm. Maybe let this one hit on the grid, and we could do the same pattern over here. Okay. All right, and you can see how nice that sounds. Of course, we can fix the lengths. All right, so that is that part. So now we're just gonna add a few more notes in the next part. All right, so now we just need to add a few other notes just to kind of make it our own. But I'm gonna just keep everything the same and keep it simple, and we could just copy just some notes we have down below. I like to do the bass notes most of the time, and I'm gonna just offset these a bit. I guess we can pull these all the way out. And I'm gonna just change the color. Okay, and let's copy this over. And you can see we're using the same exact notes, okay? And then let's copy one more time. And then we could just add, literally just change the color. Let's do red. We can let's use the B and let's use the B and the A. Okay. So I'm gonna just literally just copy these and pull them over one and pull them up an octave and just copy this pattern over. Where's this at? Over here. Just kind of make these kind of bleed a little bit so it's not too robotic. I'm gonna change the color to red and we're done. So I'm gonna just listen to it. All right, and it's just pretty much a loop here. So now all you have to do is just pick better sounds, and I'm gonna just put this on my main sound and then delete this, and then let's put this on green and let's listen. All right, sounds a lot better. So that is our melody. So now we're just gonna go ahead and add some of the other tones and other counter melodies and everything. All right, so now we have our full melody. So now we can use any notes here to create our counter melody. And I'm gonna use B, the one we just used, B and this A. So we can start on B and end on A and repeat that throughout. And this is just something simple. You don't have to do this. I'm just trying to show you the formula so that you really can't mess up. So we can maybe put these on the original spots and we could just do some flams. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see. I guess we could leave that there. So let's go to the C sharp. Again, we're just using the same notes. And I'm gonna make that do something like this. Let's copy this over. And then we could go up into, so we got our C. Let's not use this D and let's just use the E, because I remember the E we actually used. I can't go back. All right, there we go. I just want to make sure we're using the same exact notes. let's move this over. Okay, I really like that. So let's just move on, and we could just add our piano here just for some lower tones. All right, so now we have the piano. So instead of kind of making this difficult, I'm gonna just use the notes we have in the background. So I just moved our scale back over to pattern 2 so we can see the notes we have in the background. So really, I'm gonna just use the notes we have here. And this is the F sharp minor chord. So just so you know, it's all the same. And then we could just maybe place this note. And then let's just keep placing the same notes. Let's bring this up. And then let's go back in here. So if y'all see my video on like the wiggle, if you know what that is, here we have one right here, right? Just going from one note to another note back to the same exact note. And then down here, do this one. And then we could just use the notes in here, and let's actually like place a chord. Do this F sharp. And then let's copy this over. And then we could just offset one of these notes. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna just play it by itself. All right, it's simple as that, just to add something. So now what I want to do is add some effects. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in a bus and load up some effects and show you what to do with them. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you some processing, and I'm gonna show you some VSTs I use and why I'm using them. Now, a lot of people think their melodies are garbage, right? But really all you need to do is make sure you process them, right? Because dry melodies don't sound that good unless it's like a real instrument. So you need, most of the time you need to add some processing, even if it's just some delay, some cutting off some frequencies. You need to process them a little bit more. So I'm gonna show you what I use. So multipass. This right here is basically pitch shifting certain frequencies within a melody. And I just put a delay on in this format filter just to change it a little bit. So I'm gonna play it. Okay, and then we have Shaper Box 2, and all I did was just go to pitch and just pretty much do this halftime effect. And instead of doing this one because it was too low, I would play it. All right, it was too slow for me, so I drag this up, hold shift to lock it, and I did this, and this is gonna give it like a triplets effect. Right, and it's starting to sound a little bit more quote unquote official. Okay, and then RC20, I usually add this, and y'all seen this before, I usually add this little preset here to my melodies because it cuts out the frequencies I don't need, right? And it makes it a little bit wider. So all right, so I'm gonna bounce this down to a sample. And I guess we can maybe just use this last instrument once we figure out the key. All right. All right, so I went ahead and prepped this for drums, and maybe we can add one more melody. So now the pitch has changed. So this little trick I'm gonna show you only really works for minor, I believe. I haven't tried it with major, but pretty much when you do this triplets effect, all right, all you need to do is change the scale to the third note within the first scale that you had. So we have F sharp minor. So if you create a chord from here, if we use that third note and change the scale to that note, so let's go up to C sharp, then you'll find the scale you need for this. Okay, so I'm just go ahead and make a scale from this, and I guess we could just do something like this. Just play around a little bit and use this third note. So this is our chord, C sharp minor. Make these a little shorter. Copy the same pattern, just move it up. This E. And then let's do something over here. Let's try this B. Okay, I like this, kind of giving the feel of a, like, not a theme, but like a hook. All right, so that is it for our melody. That's all I'm gonna do. We spent a lot of time on this, and let's go ahead and throw down some drums. All right, so let's go ahead and throw in our bass and our kick. So we can start here and just copy our C# minor chord. Since this is a different scale, rules going to change a little bit. Let's take this, we could delete this middle one, and we just move this over. And then we can just paste these, right? And then just copy this, oh wait, wrong one. Copy this over. You all know the rules. It's just Alt K, and then I like to double my stuff. We could delete one. All right, you get the point. So now let's go ahead and try to fill in all these drums. I don't even know why I picked all these drums. All right. Okay, so I just went ahead and add this clap. Now I am going to speed up a little bit because it's a lot of stuff, and I want to try to use all of them because I like using perks. But pretty much what I'm gonna do is just kind of place things in its own little area. So like stuff like this, right? Just pretty much doing that over and over again. But I'm gonna speed it up, and I might show the hi-hats in real time though. So okay, so this is what I have. So I'll just play the drums bare bones. I'll just play with this. All right, and that's all we pretty much have. So I'm gonna just do the hi-hats real quick. I might speed this up a little bit, but let's actually just make this right click, fill these two steps. And then from here, I'm gonna just add some chops. So all right, and that's the beat. And of course we need to mix it, but I'm not gonna do that in this video. I'll just play everything all together. Here we go. All right, and that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.